Am I the a-hole? Am I being ungrateful or just practical about my dad's generous offer? Hey everyone, I could really use some outside opinions because I'm feeling torn. A couple of weeks ago, my dad mentioned, almost offhandedly, that he'd been thinking about buying me and my sister a new vehicle each, something lower mileage, single owner, etc. Then nothing more was said, and about a week later, their family dog had a $10 vet bill, so I figured it was just talk and didn't bring it up again. Fast forward to 2 days ago, and out of the blue, he messages me saying he's looking at a 2020 Ford Edge SEL, tells me where to find it online, and asks me to check it out. I was busy that evening, but yesterday when I finally sat down at my computer to look it up, he calls me immediately and starts reading the entire website to me. Then he says he's already put money down on it, and I just need to send my driver's license info to the dealership to finalize everything. Let me just say, I have severe ADHD, and my brain was trying to process all of this while I was still sitting on my concerns about whether this car is really the right fit for me. My main concerns are seating. The Edge only has 5 seats, while my current vehicle has a third row, which is a lifesaver with my 3 kids, 8, 10, and 12. They get their space, and I even have room to bring my girlfriend's nephew sometimes. Towing. The Ford Edge doesn't have a hitch, and I need to be able to tow a utility trailer and my 14-foot Bowrider boat. Cost and practicality. I don't want to end up stuck paying for another vehicle that doesn't suit my needs while I keep driving my older ones. When I mentioned my concerns, he got frustrated and told me I don't need to be towing heavy stuff around, and that I need to take care of it and do regular oil changes. He always assumes I don't take care of things, and even brought up a weird example, saying I used to let my kids lose my phone in the couch for weeks, which has never happened. Then during the conversation, it sounded like maybe he only put down a deposit and hasn't fully bought it yet, but then he started saying things like, fine, forget it, and mentioned that his coworker or even his wife would take it instead. Now I'm stuck wondering, do I just message him and say, fine, let them have it, and hope he'll still help me find something better suited to my needs? Or should I just send my license info, insure it, and figure it out / suck it up and go from there? I feel like no one is really understanding my concerns, and my girlfriend thinks I should just accept it and move on because my dad is excited about it, but I worry I'll end up with something that doesn't work for me and adds more financial stress. Would love to hear from anyone who's been in a similar spot or has thoughts on whether I should stick to my gut or just accept the gift and deal with it later. Am I the a-hole for confronting my friend about making jokes about my anxiety and setting boundaries? I, 28 female, have a close friend, Rebecca, 28 female. For a while now, Rebecca has made jokes about my anxiety. I initially brushed it off, thinking she was just trying to lighten the mood. But over time, her comments became hurtful. She would make jokes like, "You're crazy," and say I should be in a mental hospital. I didn't feel like she was taking my mental health seriously, and it started to affect me emotionally. The breaking point was when she stayed at my house for a night with friends. The next morning, she casually mentioned my anxiety to our friends as if it were a joke. It was a private matter, and I felt embarrassed and disrespected. She kept laughing about it, making me feel like I was the punchline of a joke. I expected more sensitivity, especially since she has a daughter with autism, which I thought would make her more empathetic about mental health issues. I decided to confront her. I sent her a message saying that while I knew she didn't mean any harm, I could no longer tolerate her jokes about my condition. I told her that I needed her to respect my boundaries for my mental and emotional well-being, as her comments were draining. I explained that I am just setting healthy boundaries. I also told her I had been feeling anxious about going out because I feared being judged, especially after she disclosed something so personal in front of our friends, making me feel like I was her laughingstock. She apologized, saying she hadn't been aware of how her comments were affecting me, and acknowledged that she went too far. However, after this, she unsent a message that I didn't read, left our group chat, and then posted a quote on Facebook that seemed passive-aggressive. "You will continue to suffer if you have an emotional reaction to everything that is said to you. The power is sitting back and observing everything with logic. If words control you, that means everyone else can control you. Breathe and allow things to pass." I was confused and hurt by the post, so I sent her another message, clarifying that I wasn't trying to control her emotions, but simply communicating my need for boundaries. I acknowledged that it might take time for her to process everything, but I wanted us to be on the same page. Now I'm questioning whether I was too harsh. I value our friendship, but I'm concerned that she's not respecting my boundaries. I'm wondering if I should have let things go or if it was right for me to stand firm on my mental health. So, am I the a-hole for confronting my friend about making fun of my anxiety and setting boundaries?
Am I the a-hole for leaving a family gathering and taking the cake with me after getting my feelings hurt? I, 27 female, hit 1 year sober from alcohol at the beginning of the year. This was a huge accomplishment for me. It was bigger to me than finishing college. I told my family that next time we were together for family dinner, I had something to celebrate. This all happened at my mom's. The kids were playing and the adults were hanging out. I took the moment to share that I'd reached 1 year sober and how good I felt about it. They went with, "Oh, that's what you were talking about," and "Has it been a year already?" I am embarrassed to admit I hoped someone would say they're proud of me. My BIL Steve looked at my sister and they both said, "Well," at the same time, and she said, "Since we're all here, niece just got into a specific gymnastics thing. It's been a long road, but she did it." Steve popped some wine they'd brought and started giving everyone glasses, cups. He made eye contact with me, and his face fell. I had this gnawing feeling, so got up from the table. I took a walk. I tried to get through the moment mentally so I could be present for my niece to celebrate her success. But when I got back to the house, my sister asked me why I left without saying anything. I said I needed a minute to myself. She looked at me funny and said, "Okay." I said I'd shared something I was very proud of, and she bulldozed over it. My mom put her hand up and asked me what my news was. I said that I'd told them. I hit 1 year sober. Mom said my generation always wanted praise for doing the bare minimum. That wasn't an accomplishment, it was just what I needed to do, like graduating high school. I tried to make it through to dinner, but found myself just not in the mood anymore. I decided to go home. Here's the direct thing I am being called a butthead for. I'd brought a small berry chantilly cake, my favorite, to share after dinner. It was the thing I decided I earned. The kids had definitely seen it. On my way out, I decided to take it home with me. I guess when they realized the cake wasn't in the garage fridge anymore, my sister called to ask me why I took it. I said I did because it was my cake to celebrate my accomplishment. She said word for word, "Are you fucking serious? Oh my God, Emma, grow up. You are such a fucking baby." My mom later texted me directly to tell me how disappointed she was that I threw a tantrum because my niece got more attention than me. I don't think her read of what happened is right, but that is why I am asking you guys. Am I the asshole because I took home the cake in the end? Was that really childish of me, considering the kids saw it and then didn't get any? As I was putting on my shoes to leave, Steve found me and directly apologized and said that he was completely oblivious in the moment. I know he did not do anything to intentionally hurt me. I am not in AA. I tried AA before, and it was not compatible for me. It works for a lot of people very well, and I'm happy for you if it works for you. So stuff about the steps and personal inventory are not relevant to me. It wasn't a party for my niece, it was just a family dinner. The cake was mine and wasn't brought for my niece. I didn't take it because I wanted to get back at them. I took it because it's my favorite cake, and I wanted to eat it because it was my thing that I earned. I don't know why they opened wine for my niece getting into the gymnastic program, but I also don't think it's my place to say anyone else has a drinking problem, and I'd prefer to have eyes on my own paper.
Am I the a-hole for not giving the dollhouse I built to my niece, but to my wife as a gift? It's not a dollhouse, but I didn't want anyone to think I was being misleading on purpose by saying I built a house. I, 28 male, made my wife, 28 female, a replica of a house that's known to fans of a musician, but wouldn't mean much to others. It's about 2 feet tall and wasn't very complicated to build, but my wife had said a few times over last year that she thought it would be cool to have for little trinkets. She's like a crow with her trinkets. I love it. She didn't know I was making it for her, but I did sneakily involve her in its creation through having her make a couple TikToks when we were out together so I could get the colors right. She has no idea, lol. I was excited, so I showed a picture to my brother. He told me it was cool, but didn't get the purpose. He showed it to my niece Ava, 13 female, who knew what it was and said she wanted one too. My brother asked if I would give it to Ava for her birthday. I said no, it's for my wife, but I could make one with Ava. It would help teach her some basic woodworking skills, which they don't do in schools here anymore. I'd like that. Brother said if it was so easy, then I could make a second one for my wife and just give this one to Ava since her B-day is the end of the month. Again, I said no. This was done specifically for my wife. He seemed to accept that, but then came back to me and said, "Isn't it a little weird to make a dollhouse for an adult woman?" I told him it's not a dollhouse, just a fancy shelf. He argued that makes it worse because Ava would actually play with it. He must have gone to complain to Mom about it. He is the younger brother, because Mom called me to tell me that it was stupid to give my wife a dollhouse. I tried to explain that it's not a dollhouse, but she just kept saying, "That's stupid." This weekend I was at their house and Ava kept bringing up the house and laying it on thick with statements like, "I've always wanted one just like it." She kept asking why my wife wanted a dollhouse. I said it's not a dollhouse, but she kept asking why she needed a dollhouse. I told my brother that he was encouraging his kid to be manipulative, and I really didn't like it, so I was going to leave. He told me that I was dangling the house over her head like McDonald's and teasing her, and that it made me a bad uncle. Being a good uncle is important to me, and I do feel for the girl because she's a big fan too. I admit I have a blind spot for this because I don't have kids, and maybe I shouldn't have shared the picture with my brother to begin with. Am I really the asshole for not just giving it to her? Yes, it was easy to make, and I could make another quickly. Sorry guys, Ava isn't my brother's biological daughter. There's a long story involved that I didn't want to add, but I should have realized the age would be surprising. I still see her as my niece regardless, but I get why that would be alarming. Nothing bad happened or anything.
Am I the a-hole for accidentally catching my brother's girlfriend in a lie? This might be a bit long, so I'll put a Teledar at the end. I, 19 female, have a brother, 24 male, that I'll call Liam. Earlier this year, he started dating a girl he met at his climbing class that I'll call Emma, 26 female. They've been together for 4 months, and this weekend he decided to introduce her to us. They arrived yesterday and are staying until tonight. She is a really nice person, and we got along well. Then at one point, my dad asked her what she did in life, and she said she was a lawyer. I was super interested because I'm currently studying law and have wanted to be a lawyer since I was maybe 10, so I was very excited to ask her questions about it. I asked about cases that she had, how she studied to become a lawyer, what her days looked like, and many more things. I might have been a little over-enthusiastic and annoying, but I didn't realize it at the time and was just excited to get to ask someone questions about my dream job. But at one point, she said something that seemed incoherent to me. The details might be long and boring, but basically she just said something that isn't technically possible. So I was curious and a bit confused, and I asked her how that was possible because I just thought she's the professional, so she must know better than me. But as she tried to explain it, she just said more incoherent and impossible things. It was kind of like if someone was quoting things from Grey's Anatomy to doctors, if you see what I mean. So I asked more about it to understand, and that's when she admitted that she wasn't actually a lawyer and worked at a bookstore. She told us that she was very sorry for lying, and then left the table, and my brother followed her. My parents kind of scolded me for being so intrusive, and when my brother came back, he was a bit angry. He started telling me that I was wrong for interrogating interrogating her, and that I made her uncomfortable, and that she had lied because she was embarrassed about her job, and I just made her more embarrassed. Now, he hasn't been talking to me since, and neither has Emma. I'm not sure I'm in the wrong here, but they all seem to think so.
Am I the a-hole for telling my pregnant sister that I wanted nothing more to do with her baby shower? My late 30s, youngest sister, early 30s, is pregnant with her first child. The family is thrilled for her, as she and her partner have been trying for a long time to get pregnant. When she announced it, she mentioned that she was having a baby shower, and my sister and I offered to help out where we can. For some reason, she took that as my brother said he would pay for the baby shower, and drafted a guest list of 120 people. I decided to text her one day and ask her what her budget was, and I heard nothing for at least a day. My other sister and my mom mentioned that I had said to her that I would pay for the whole thing. That was never something I had offered to do. She never addressed it with me directly, and said that she and her partner would pay for everything. I took charge of creating the Evite registration site, driving an hour away to book the hall and put a deposit down, offered to do the centerpieces, pay for the stroller, driving back to the hall to add extra time to the reservation, because their archaic system doesn't allow people to book online, agree to pick up food on the day of, answer every inquiry from her guests who've registered in the system. My husband offered to help out with the games for the shower. We saw my sister last week, and she texted me on Monday saying, if he doesn't want to do the games, then tell me so I can give it to someone else. I finally messaged back and said that I thought her message was a little harsh, and if she was trying to imply something, that she should just say it out loud. She then responded by saying, fine. I'm disappointed by how much work you've put into this shower. That's when I lost it. I was objective and listed everything I had contributed so far. I also pointed out that I had never agreed to pay for a baby shower with 120 guests. I don't know much about them, but I assumed they were intimate events in someone's home and not something the size of a wedding. I had less people at my own wedding. In addition to this, she complains about other people in her life to my mom and sister about how no one is pitching in. She asked my mom what she was contributing to the shower. My 70-year-old retired mother was taken aback by that comment and offered to cook food for 120 people. She's been so ungrateful throughout this entire process and has since uninvited me to her shower and sarcastically said, enjoy your 40th, and removed me from my sibling group chat.